everybody. Welcome back to Breakfast with Bob Challenge Roth Edition. My name is Bob Babbitt. We're brought to you by HOKA, Fly Human Fly, SFuels, Right Fuel, Right Time, Master Spas, deboer Wetsuits, Premium Plus Sports, and of course, our Challenged Athletes Foundation. We've now raised $178 million to keep challenged athletes in the game of life through sport. Our next guest, Challenge Roth champion, one of the most decorated triathletes around, but more importantly, she has become one of the voices of our sport. Belinda Granger joins us. How you doing, Belinda?
I am very well. A little stressed. It's always the way here in Roth, 2 days out, but absolutely loving being here again. I think this is my 20th year.
Oh, my God.
It's crazy.
So you won this race when? 05?
Oh, way back.
Oh,
We're
my
going to
God.
go way back, 2005.
You have wooden tires and...
Actually, you know, it is funny. I do look at that. I look at what we used to wear back then when aerodynamics, what was that? We didn't even worry about that back then.
Could you spell wind tunnel?
No. What was a wind tunnel?
You never did any of that type of crap. No. It was like, what did Chrissy do? Okay, I'll do that.
Whatever she's doing, it works, so let's follow suit. Yeah.
So we were chatting right before this. One person who has impressed me so much, Magnus Ditlev, we've both sort of watched his rise as an athlete, right? You saw him when he first came here. Talk about, he was worried about doing an acceptance speech after winning his first ever Challenge Roth 2 years ago.
I still remember it like yesterday. 2 years ago, he came here. You know, I wouldn't say he wasn't one of the favourites. We knew he was going to have a good race, but did we expect him to win? Well, of course not. I mean, we had Jan Frodeno racing, and everyone just expected that Jan the Great was going to win this, and everyone was racing for second. And when Magnus pulled off the win, I remember later that night when he was back at the finish line, because of course all the pros come back to the finish line to cheer the last athletes in. He came up to me, he's like, "Oh, Belinda, you know, at the awards tomorrow, do I have to give a speech?" And I looked at him like, of course you have to give a bloody speech. You just won one of the biggest races in the world, Magnus.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I went home that night and I'm thinking, oh my God, this is going to be a disaster. He can't speak in front of people. But come the next day, he was actually quite incredible. It was a very short speech, but it was a beautiful speech.
Yes.
And to watch Magnus yesterday at the press conference, oh my God, it made my heart sing, because where he's come in 2 years, he's funny, he's articulate, he's so great with the crowd now. It's really like he's really found himself, and not just is he a great, a fantastic fast athlete, he's an amazing, incredible person.
I think he realizes that when you become a winner of Challenge Roth, and hopefully a winner at the Ironman World Championship this year, you're the spokesman for sport.
Absolutely.
You represent the sport. Jan, Paul Frazier, those folks all represent the sport. And we're in good hands. That kid
absolutely.
Is, what I love about athletes is when they learn to win different ways. Here's a guy who came to the racetracks, blew up, the heat, a problem, and so what do you do with T100 in Miami? Hey, Sam Laidlaw, you go off the front. Elsa Brownlee, you guys go off the front. I usually win the race on the bike. I'm going to win it on the run this time. And he cooled himself down. And he ran by everybody. He wins the race on her. And then he goes to Alcatraz, where it's freaking freezing. And he was just, fourth place, right off the podium. And now he's here, going for a three-peat. And he seems so comfortable. He seems so... I love when people feel comfortable in their own skin, and I get that feel with him.
Absolutely, and I think that shows the maturity, particularly over the last 2 years. Maturity is him as a person, but also more importantly as an athlete.
Yes.
He's not influenced by what others are doing.
Nope.
In fact, if anything, others are influenced by what he's doing, and that's the difference. And he said it perfectly yesterday in the press conference. This is a course that he knows suits him to a T.
Yes.
And I think winning Roth over and over again, as we said, he's going for the three-peat, and there's only been a handful, not even a handful. I think Chrissy Wellington,
is it Macca
and Lota. I think that's it.
Jürgen won a bunch.
Jürgen's won a few, but that
was back in
Ironman. We're going back even further than my time.
Oh my God, yes.
But still, it's very difficult to do. So he's one of an elite few. But he will go into this race tomorrow, and he will not be influenced by anyone around him. We know that he's probably not going to get out of the swim right in front, because we've got some very good swimmers. He was
right there,
He was right on the back of that front pack, but I don't think it concerns him if he's not.
No.
It's not like he's saying, oh my gosh, I didn't make the front pack, my race is in turmoil. He'll just go about his business. He'll ride to his wattage, and you'll see it slowly but surely. He'll just reel them all in. He'll ride straight through. that's when he'll make the difference, because that's when the other athletes are going to say, do I pick it up and try and stay with this guy,
Yes.
or do I wave the white flag and say, no, I'm just going to let Magnus go?
Because when Sam Laidlaw rode with him last year, he didn't end up running well.
No, he
Or
didn't.
Had out.
Yep.
Jan the year before had Achilles thing. He rode with him and he was gone.
Yep.
Do I want to be that guy?
Exactly. And this is the decision these athletes are going to have to. Look,
Yeah.
they're going to have to make it on Sunday.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
it's going to be very interesting to see who decides what.
And at the other end of it, if we're looking at his time, he ran a 2:37 marathon, and Patrick Lange took 7 minutes out of him.
Yeah.
2:30, and everybody here knows a 2:28 is coming, right? And it could be Sunday,
Yep.
and Lange could be that guy. So if he's taking 10 minutes out of Magnus, is Magnus getting 15? What's he going to get on the bike? What does he need on the bike to win this thing?
Well, that's the thing. We always talk about Magnus's bike, but we don't realise
2:37
he's
marathon.
a bloody great runner.
Yes.
He never looks like he's running particularly fast because he's got that long loping
stride, yeah.
particularly when you compare him to the likes of Patrick Lange,
Yeah.
who's just that beautiful,
Oh my God,
fluid, wonderful turnover. So we just automatically think, oh, Magnus needs a good chunk of time, but I don't even think we've seen Magnus be pushed to his fastest
No.
marathon yet. So who knows what Magnus is capable of, honestly, and he's still so young. We know going into T100 in San Francisco, he was coming back from that crash that he had in Singapore.
Yep.
He wasn't at peak fitness.
Nope.
But what we've got here now this week, I think it's Magnus at peak fitness.
Well, he's staying at the same homestay.
Yeah.
He's so comfortable here.
yeah.
It's his third time coming here. I love the fact that he decided everybody else is training in the Sierras in Europe, and he's like, I'm going old school. I'm going up in Colorado. I'm
Yes,
going to the
back in
Rocky
the old
Mountains.
day. I mean,
And he's like, I'm in a little town. I love it. I'm going back. He's going to go back before Kona and be there up at high altitude again.
Yeah.
So I love how he just tries different stuff.
Yeah.
Another athlete that I love, Els Visser.
oh my gosh, my favorite female. She's
10-year anniversary.
beautiful.
Wave sinks the boat. She's in the water 18 hours with a life jacket on, kicking her way. 2 people died. She lives. And you got to do the voiceover for the film that Red Bull produced.
Yeah.
And what did you think? You got to see the film. Amazing.
Look, I mean, look, it's ridiculous. And I've watched the documentary now about 3, maybe 4 times, because they obviously
Yeah.
sent it to me. And the first time I watched it, I actually cried 3 times.
Oh my God.
It is that hard hitting. I mean, I knew Elsa's story.
We know
she
the
told me
story,
before.
yes.
But we'd spoken about it before. But to actually see it. And you actually live it when you watch this documentary. By the way, Red Bull's done a spectacular job in capturing it, all the emotions. Not only does it make you realise what an insanely incredible human being Els Visser is, but it makes you understand when she races and things go wrong. It's like, well, whatever. It's like,
Don't sweat the small crap.
She got ran into in Hamburg,
Right.
almost came off. But
Yeah.
didn't worry about it. Then you flat tire on the side of the road
Couldn't
for
fix it.
10 to 12 minutes. Couldn't fix it. Most people, it's
I'm
I'm
out.
out. Forget it. I'll go to the next race. But she goes on to run an extraordinary marathon time.
sub-3-hour marathon.
Yep,
First
yep,
sub-3-hour
sub 3,
marathon.
runs herself
On
up to
a
5th.
flat, we're talking a rim. She's
It's-
riding on the rim.
Crazy.
But yeah, that's the small stuff.
Exactly.
When I'm basically treading water for 18 hours.
Exactly.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
The thing about her that really hit me when she told me that Red Bull took her back to Indonesia to. Oh my God.
To do it
and
all.
She
Could you imagine how emotionally?
I couldn't
draining,
sleep. The afterwards and just having to bringing it all back again must have been so brutal.
Yeah.
And so the film captures that.
It does, absolutely it does. It nails it perfectly. But I think for Els, in a way, as hard or as difficult as it might have been, I think it's closure. I think it's given her complete closure.
That's a great
She's gone
point.
full circle. Because the athlete I see now, this year in
She's a
particular,
pro.
she
She's-
is
yeah.
100% a pro. I think I think doing that documentary really gave her clarity on what she wants out of life.
Yeah.
I mean, she's an insanely intelligent person. She's a doctor.
she's a
She
freaking
could do whatever
surgeon.
she wanted,
Yeah.
and she's chosen the life of a professional athlete, and I think that's what we're seeing now. And even when she lines up on a start line, or even when we're talking to her pre-race, she has this quiet air of confidence, not arrogance.
None.
Quiet air of confidence about her, and it's actually, I love it. I love to see it. It makes it's addictive. It's an addictive feeling, and to be around her, you just can't help but feel positive and feel great about life. I mean, looking around here now at this, I mean, as I said, I've been here 20 times, and I still look around, and it's just, it's
awesome.
insane. It's insane.
Well, and as a former pro, PTO, T100, Challenge, Ironman, 70.3, Super League, it is an amazing era to be a world triathlon, to be a professional. I mean, there's revenue streams from everywhere.
Everywhere.
Right?
And I think, in a way, it's almost been a little overwhelming for many of our pros, and you've seen them make some little mistakes everywhere. And I don't blame them. You know, it's like when you're given a lolly jar with 18 different kinds of lollies. What's the first thing you do? You want to take one of everything.
Salad bar.
Yes,
Go do it. Yeah, eat it all.
And I think next year we'll start to see the pros take a step back, take a breath, and actually work out what works best for them.
Right.
This year it's just been a free-for-all. And I think next year we'll start seeing them, you know, actually the Ironman series suits me, so I'm going to concentrate just on that.
Right.
The T100 series suits me, or, you know what, I'm going to go for the Challenge World bonus. But what I love is now they have got that much
options.
Choice. And they can actually make a nice living from it, which is what we want. We want these athletes they should be paid well for what they do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We all know that during COVID, a lot of pros, if it wasn't for PTO,
they'd be gone.
They'd be gone.
Yep.
They'd be out of here.
No,
and I do feel one of the couple things that happen when PTO comes in and up the ante on money, right? Up the ante on media coverage, and basically told the rest of the industry, you need to do the same thing.
Absolutely.
I think that other groups have responded more of the Ironman World Series. And the coverage they're providing now, it's great for the pros. And I think what people are realizing, all the events are realizing the value of having professionals involved in your events.
It does, and maybe you don't see that, you don't reap the rewards immediately.
No.
But down the track, the sponsorship that comes. I mean, I look at this. I didn't think that this expo could get any bigger. Last year was ridiculous, and then we come here this year. I mean, look at HOKA, a three-story
they said,
tower.
Hey, Bob, do you want to do the show from the second story of our booth? Oh, by the way, you have a 10 by 10, you have another 10 by 10 on top of that? It's like, no, we built a skybox.
Yes.
We've got a skybox, and I'm like, this is unbelievable.
And you know, I speak to quite a few of the other exhibitors around who have just got the plain old tent.
Yes.
And they're like scratching their head going, I don't think our tent's going to cut the mustard next year.
No.
But this is what we want. We want the sport to be ever evolving. So it's great.
So I guess you're not missing when you would leave Australia and go to an event in the States or wherever, and then you'd have to be quarantined for 3 weeks.
Oh my God!
And you'd have you had a treadmill in the room, and you could never leave, right?
No.
You were basically a prisoner.
I was. It was.
I was a nice prisoner.
Yeah, well, it was
catered.
It was the best of a bad bunch, but it was.
You still couldn't leave, and nobody else could come.
No, it was an extraordinary time, and you know, I look back now, and part of me's filled with a little bit of anger because it's like I did 4 lots of 2-week quarantines, and you know, it's 8 weeks of your life that you don't get back. But in saying that, you can't dwell on the negatives. The positives were, now I take every day as incredible day. Enjoy it all every day. Don't take it for granted.
Never.
When I'm here at these events, it's not like another Roth, whatever. You know, I get out, I thrive, I love it. So, you know, we can dwell on all the shitty side of COVID, but I think at the end of the day, it is what it is.
Exactly.
And we've all come out the other side, and I think let's take the positives from it.
The sport came out the other side better than ever. And I think people realize that I love this, right? And people aren't thinking, I'll do that race next year.
It's like, no, I'm going to do it this year.
Who knows what's going to happen?
Next year's going to bring. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Yeah.
You are the best, my friend.
Look,
Thank you for always taking time. And so people will be able to watch where? You're doing the English coverage?
Yes, so we've got the German coverage. Obviously, the German coverage will be on television here in Germany. The English coverage, which my sidekick is no other than Sebby Kinlay. And for everyone out there, by the way, Sebby Kinlay turns 40 tomorrow.
Oh, does he really? Oh, thank you.
Yep. So we're going to do a little. Don't tell him this, but we're going to do a little sneaky happy birthday during the live coverage on Sunday. But you can watch the English live coverage on the Challenge Roth YouTube channel.
Okay.
And also, if you go either on challengefamily.com on our website or on the Challenge Roth website, you can click on the live link and it'll take you straight through to the live coverage. So it was going to be a fun day. Got some guests coming on. It'll be great.
Perfect. Thank you for always being so generous with your time.
I love it. Only problem with here, I get bloody cramps in my cheek muscles because I can't stop smiling.
Belinda Granger has been our guest again. We are at beautiful Challenge Roth. Hold on, everybody. We'll be right back.